Today we're going to be talking about making inferences.
Now,
Making an inference is taking what we read or see and combining it with our own personal knowledges and experiences in order to figure out what is taking place. The problem with inferring is that we are trying to identify what is happening because the author or artist didn't tell us up front. Let's try making an inference now. Remember, inferring means we are trying to figure out what's happening in this picture. My initial reaction is that she is sick. Now, although that is a great inference, I have one small problem. I need to prove it. I need to ask myself, how do I know she is sick? Let's take a look at our clues and record them so that we can go back and look at them later. The first clue I noticed was a blanket over her shoulders. I'm thinking she must be cold because we often get cold when we're sick, and she's using a blanket to keep warm. My second clue is the mug, because again, she must be cold because she's sick. Mugs hold hot beverages, and we drink those to warm up. Our third clue is the hot water bottle on her head. I think this goes along with my previous two in the fact that she is cold and trying to keep warm. She could also possibly have a headache from being so sick. Another clue is her face. She looks very sad, and I know that when I'm feeling sick, I'm not very happy either. I'm often frowning and my eyes are half closed. All I want to do is go back to bed. And that's kind of what her facial expression looks like too. So let's recap. We know that we have a blanket, a mug, a hot water bottle, and a sad face, but we're missing one very important clue. The clue we're missing is that she's on the telephone. I don't know about you, but I find that that doesn't really click with everything else that we've said so far. My thinking is that this new clue means our inference, she is sick, needs to be changed or expanded on in order to make sure that all the clues work together to support our inference. Some possible inferences to explain the telephone could be that she is calling a doctor, maybe she's calling a friend for help, or she's calling in sick, or maybe she's calling to cancel plans because she doesn't feel up to them anymore. Now, I know that all four of these new inferences are all very valid inferences, but I need to kind of just pick one. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to say that she's calling in sick to work. Now, the reason that I chose calling in sick to work is because although she may be calling a doctor or a friend for help, I think she's a grown woman and she probably doesn't need the assistance unless she was deathly ill, and she doesn't look deathly ill. The other thing is normally when grown-ups are sick, I know they call in sick to work. So due to her age and all of the other clues, I can infer that this lady in the picture is calling in sick to work. So to sum up our little video about how we can make inferences, let's go over what we've learned. The first step is we need to look at the clues. The second step in making an inference is to explain and show how we know. Don't forget to make your connections. When we do all of these things, we are left with a valid inference with good evidence to prove we know what we're talking about.